Yogis, welcome back to another episode of RunYogi Diaries. This is your host Santosh Shiva. I hope you had a wonderful week and you also got some time to play, swim, bike, run, whatever is your thing. Every week I bring you conversations with people who are on a journey of well-being and endurance. I hope they spark some possibility in you, leave you with some tips, and perhaps some inspiration to perspire. If you like this channel, consider subscribing to it, hit like if you like this video, and leave your comments below and let us know what you think. This episode is also available on all major podcast platforms if audio is your thing. Hey Sapna, welcome to Run Yogi Diaries.
Thank you so much for having me here, Santosh. It's a pleasure.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure indeed to have you. What you're doing is quite incredible. I follow you on your Facebook post every day. Very inspiring messages. And just as a quick introduction, let me take a stab at that. So Sapna Agarwal from Bangalore, India, and a marathoner. You're a mom, author. I want to talk about the books you've written. I didn't know you've written a book. You're also a holistic wellness coach, which is what really fascinates me about what you're doing. You're in the mission of spreading the message of aligning lifestyle and body's natural infradian rhythm. So we need to talk
True.
about that infradian rhythms. And I like when we did our pre-recording, chat. You made an interesting observation that women are not little men.
True that.
It's a very powerful message. We need that message needs to spread a little bit more because we don't really talk about that in the mainstream fitness.
True that.
And yeah, so did I miss anything?
No, absolutely nothing. Just that I am an ordinary girl, very, very ordinary. So I want whoever is listening to me should relate to me like anyone else. If I can do something, come on your podcast. If I can or have something to offer, anyone else can also do that. That's my main thing here. That I don't have anything feathers or anywhere. I am just an ordinary girl coming from a very humble background. And if you have that willingness to show up at life, then 100% life will take you places. This is something which I would like to add to my introduction.
Absolutely, that's wonderful. So yeah, why don't we then just jump in and learn a little bit about how you got into this and how did your journey start? So maybe do a bit of a flashback, and so yeah, take us back where it all started for you.
Thank you so much, Santosh. So every time I come on any public platform and I am asked this question, it kind of creates so many waves in my heart that to go back in time and think about all the things and just summarize them in just 10 or 5, 7, 8 minutes. It's very difficult because you live a new experience with every unfolding that life offers you, with every challenge, with every struggle. So let me just quickly brief you on how it all began, because it is not something which dates back to 5 years or 6 years. It has its root in my childhood, and I was not into any kind of fitness or workout till about 35 years of age. So basically, I was very, very a studious child, and all I was doing all day long was to sit with books, study, and eat. That was a major part of my childhood and my growing up years. And consequently, I put on a lot of weight, like before my marriage itself. And to make things very clear, I come from a very humble, orthodox, and conventional setup household, and I have born and brought up in Kolkata. And my
Hmm.
father is an Orthodox man. I love him very much, no offense, but he has he has very strong values towards like what kind of system we were living in that time. So it's like I am talking about, you can say, 20, 25 years back thing. So I put on a lot of weight, but I had a lot of knowledge and wisdom in my head, cracking exams, coming first in all the classes and standards, and I was a very good student. But because of the weight that I was putting on, I had become reclusive. I would not want to
Mm.
meet people, talk to them, or be social at any gathering. I would stay put in my place. And you can say I had got behavioral issues where I was not willing to interact because I had low self esteem.
Mm.
And
Mm.
if anyone would comment on my weight or anything, because people have a tendency to bully you and all that, I would come
Yes.
back home,
Mhm.
cry at my mother's lap, and would eat even more. That was the reflex I was getting that time. Then suddenly, like when I completed my graduation, just a small hint with by my friend, my best friend, she just told me that now that you've completed your graduation, now it's time for you to take care of your health. I don't know, this message hit me hard. It was like so many people had earlier told me this, but I never choose to bother. And then began something inside me where I wanted to change myself, and I wanted to change
Mm.
fast, soon, as early as I can. And
Mm.
20 years back, we did not have so much of knowledge about how to go
True.
about it, and then I did not have any backing support from the family. I went to my
Mm.
father and I told him that I want to join a gym to lose weight. ही सेड
Mm.
हमारे घर की लड़कियां जिम नहीं जाती हैं, तुमको जो करना है तुम घर पे ही करो, लाइक यू वी कांट
Mm.
सेंड यू जिम, so you have to do
Mm.
everything whatever you want in the home only. So
Mm.
with that setup, I started mopping and cleaning my home 3 times a day, because that was the thing that
Wow.
okay, if I'll mop and clean the home, maybe I will lose some weight. I did that religiously. My mother was very happy that the house is spick and span and everything is good. But
Yeah. Yeah.
I there was no change in my body. I was not losing weight.
Mm.
So now the next best thing which a girl like I was naive and I did not know. I started dieting, like not eating enough,
Mm.
because that was a extreme measure I took to lose weight fast. Why I am bringing this point? It is very very important that we understand. Lot of women, maybe girls, are going through this right now, wanting to lose weight too soon, and the repercussions it can have on your life. So I would eat my breakfast, skimp on calories, not eat nutritionally dense food, and I just wanted to lose weight. And apparently, I lost 30 kgs. And by the time I lost 30 kgs, I was around 51, 52 kgs. So I was 80 once, and I lost in 6 months, I lost 27, 28 kgs. So exterior, everything was looking good, I was happy. And then we had arranged, I was married, I got married, and it was an arranged marriage. And I was very happy because all this while I was dreaming to get married, and the dream of man will come and he will just take me places, and I like all the small like family setup girls have that kind of dream. I had that, and I came to Bangalore from Kolkata. I came here, एंड आई डिड नॉट नो दैट, बोलते हैं ना कि इंसान जो गलती करता है वो उसकी उसका पीछा नहीं छोड़ती है, लाइक इट विल बी देयर समवेयर इन योर लाइफ टू टीच यू समथिंग. So my husband respected me a lot. He loved me a lot. But to break this is something. It is very. It's like a very private thing which I want to share and to let people know कि everything is not hunky dory when people lose weight on the out. Because I was so naive, Santosh. I did not understand by losing weight that way. I had lost all tonality from my body. I had lost muscle mass. I had haggard skin. I had wrinkles all over my body, and my skin was like, you can say, it was like an 80-year-old female. Like if you want to compare,
Mm.
I from the inside
Mm.
I looked like that. Okay. Then
Mm.
that thing had a huge say in my married life. The intimate moments
Mm.
that a husband and wife spend with each other, the rosy picture which a newly married couple have for one another, that was missing from my life.
Mm.
Honestly, my
Mm.
husband never said anything, but I felt the beating because your energy is going to
Mm.
speak. And then I had all
Mm.
those dreams which fell like pack of cards.
Mm.
So from 2004, like since 2004 until about, you can say, 2013, 14, I was going that long period. I was in self sabotage mode. I was suicidal.
Mm.
I had extreme issues inside which I could not speak because I was expecting something from someone and I did not get that. So we would
Mm.
have tips, we would have issues and clashes. But honestly, now when I look back and I think that it must have been hard for him as well.
Mhm.
And I would cry whole night. I would not talk to people, and this was all inside. I did not have a channel to speak about it on the outside.
Mhm. Mhm.
And I just used to think that I was always a very hard working, laborious girl in school in terms of my
Mhm.
studies. And I knew one thing. I felt suicidal, but I never thought that I can give up on life like this. So one
Mhm.
day I told my husband, after we were done with bringing the family, both my kids, I told my husband that I want to work on my health. I want to do something
Mhm.
for something which I damaged by my own self. Now I want to take
Mhm.
ownership and change something about it. He said, if you want to do something which can better your health, I'm always there for you. And this was the second time I went and asked him that, can I join a gym? Like earlier, I asked my father and he refused it. And he said, I'm more than willing if you are willing, because I would ideally want that you stay well. So from there began my journey of this fitness thing which you were asking me about. And you
And this was
understand this
what year? What year was
2000,
this when?
2014, 15, you can say.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Wow, amazing.
this is from someone who has never had any kind of encounter, even with a squat or a lunge or a jump or even a
Mm.
1 kilometer walk. I am coming from that
Mm.
space, and I joined gym.
That's enough.
Yeah. So now I
That's
joined.
amazing, Sapna.
Yeah.
No, no, that is first of all, thanks for sharing that story with us, right? Because we all walk around looking at everyone else's life, thinking everything is honky dory, everything is fine. But the truth is, like in there's a Kannada saying. I don't know if you've heard of it. That "Elru mane dose tutu." There is a Kannada saying,
Okay.
which means basically that dosas that are made in everybody's house has holes in it.
Yeah.
And so the message is very, very powerful and very important because uh, you know a lot of what you shared, like, many people are probably dealing with it. But the biggest message for me takeaway here is the silver lining, that it's never over, and there's always the next moment to take on, like you've done, in spite of all of that, back to 2014, and you started your journey again. And so that's a very powerful message,
Thank you. Thank you,
Sapna.
Santosh.
Thanks for sharing
Yeah.
that.
So there began my journey, and now in movies, in 3 hours movie, you will see like cut to this, there you come and you become fit.
Hmm.
Every day was a
Hmm.
struggle. I would puke and feel nauseated before going to gym because this was not in my DNA. My genes don't know how to lift
Hmm.
weights and do all the workout. And I took a personal trainer. She was a very, very warm and compassionate person. And I explained her why I have joined gym. I told her that, see, my skin is like this. I want it to be better. I can't even hold my
Hmm.
skin. It is so loose. There should be something. I have dreamt of all the females who have strong muscles. I want to become like
Hmm.
them. She said,
So I have one
yeah.
question for you, as you share this, Sapna. Was there somebody that inspired you? Like, how did you get this idea that you can do something about it? Was there somebody, a book, or a personality? Who
Yeah,
inspired you?
that's such a beautiful question, Santosh Bhai, because honestly I came from a space of lack. Lack is that my
Hmm.
husband is not giving me what I want from him. So you can say somewhere, Santosh, that was my ego beating hard inside.
Hmm.
Now, that was my why I am doing
Hmm.
it. My why was very clear, that I should look a way where he likes me. So, this is
Hmm.
not a right notion. But initially,
Hmm.
why I want to say that I did not start with the right notion is because many people fall trapped to that also. You are never
Hmm. Hmm.
sufficient for anyone. You have to be enough for your own self first, right?
Hmm.
So I began from there. My ego
Hmm.
took a hard beating, that I am not getting what I had dreamt all my life. So I
Hmm.
should
Hmm.
become someone whom he would like. That was my trigger.
Hmm.
Okay. But
Got it.
all this while, when you asked me, all this while, I was just dreaming and seeing myself strong, muscular, strong, muscular. Weakness had brought me down to my knees in my head, and I wanted to be strong and muscular because I felt if I become muscular, if I become strong, no area of my body, my skin, my whole graphically, if you see, won't have that sagging. I felt like I just want to get rid of that. But when you try to do something which God has given you, he will he will open up thousand avenues for you to explore only with what you can do. We are so conditioned to look at what we can't do. We have to see what I can still do. Always, I have so many clients, they ask me so many questions. I tell them, at any given point in time, if you have anything where you don't know what to do, ask yourself, how little or what small thing that I can do, just do that.
mm,
The rest, the Almighty is going to push you forward. You have to believe that. No one has the plan carved out for them. No one, the biggest of players in the world, no one can have that blueprint, and it's all like a vague concept. You have to show
mm.
up every day. That will take you places. Don't bother about the next day. Just live for the today. Do what you can possibly do
Right, right.
today.
So that's great. So I think what I hear is that for you, the biggest trigger was, uh, you had this image of what would what would work for your marriage, right?
Exactly.
And that was driving your whole, pursuit of trying to get fit, right? That's
Yeah.
how you got into, got it, completely get it. All right, so you started. So let's get
Yes.
back to that. You started your gym journey. We are
Yeah.
still in 2014 now. Go
Yeah.
forward.
So the whole 1 year, I just devoted myself to the cause of making myself stronger. Every day, I would
Mm,
cry in gym. I would moan. I would sulk. I would complain. What was my complaint? That
mm,
Sapna, why did you do what you did that time? And because of that, you are
mm,
made to do this. I would. You will not
mm,
believe, Santosh. I would curse myself. Why did you do all that
mm,
in back then? Now see, all the girls
mm,
outside, they are having fun, and you are made to work out. You are made to do this. This is
mm,
your punishment. I would cry every single day, but I did not know, Santosh, when this hate became my love. I kept
mm,
on doing it despite I would have queasy stomach every day. I would go on en route to gym from my home. My stomach would be queasy. I would feel nauseated because this was not something which I liked. So,
mm,
but eventually somewhere I started feeling it does not make me feel bad anymore. I am feeling good. I could
mm,
feel my hands changing. I could feel the tonality of my legs changing. I could feel that there are small changes happening in my body, and that small
mm,
change would trigger me to just keep on going. Now,
mm.
running is still not there in the picture. Running has
Yeah,
not come yet. One whole
yeah.
year I devoted to gym, and this girl who was helping me, she became my confidant. She became my best friend,
Mm,
and she was like a young girl. She was a physiotherapist, and now she is based out of London. So she
mm,
one day broke to me that, Sapna, I am leaving country for good. I will not be staying here
mm,
anymore. I have to pursue my education. I'm going to London. That broke my
mm,
heart into million pieces because my dream has not been achieved till now, and she's leaving me.
mm,
And then she told me, I love you so much that I want to take a memory of we doing something together to myself,
mm,
take along with myself, and that would be that Pinkathon run, 10 kilometer run, which is like a run for women. I laughed
mhm,
off the idea. Are you mad? Do you know how I feel like puking when I do my warm up on treadmill? You must be kidding. I can't do this.
mhm.
I just told her plain simple, you take me along with you, I will go. I can work out the whole day, but I will not run 10 kilometer. Please don't ask me to
Mm.
do that. Then she said, whether you fail, whether you faint, whatever it is, you stop thousand times, I have no problem, but you will run 10K with me. And I am telling you honestly, Santosh, till that the day I ran that 10K, I had not even run 3-4 kilometers. Okay.
And this year, what was this year now? 2000, we're talking
2000,
2016?
2015, 15.
Mm, mm. Okay.
2015 February, I ran my first 10K. And surprisingly, because of all the workout and the endurance I built by doing strength training, I clocked the race in 55 minutes.
Oh, wow.
And I'm just like, okay, I finished it. I went back home. And then people from the running community, they were like 5, 7, 8 years back, a girl running 10K, first 10K in 55 minutes was a big thing. I got to know from people there that this is a stupendous timing. And I did not know what it is 10K, 55 minutes. I had no clue. And then people started telling me, people are training for 1 year to run a 10K under 60 minutes. Do you know that? And I was like, what is it that you are saying? I don't know. I ran, I felt good. It's okay. I don't want to run again. But then they started telling me, you should pursue, you should run, you should run. And that was when the running bug bit me. That was the starting point of my running journey. She left me, but she gave a beautiful gift for life that I got in the form of running. And till now, I thank her for giving me running. This is how running came into
Awesome.
my life.
Wow. So all your hard work that you put in was probably for that.
Exactly. And you never know.
you
Like
know.
it is said, no, if you do something, the whole of universe conspires
Yeah.
to help and bring people together to help you. This is how it was for
Yeah.
me, actually. And
Wonderful.
then
Wonderful.
other friends came in, then from 10K to 21K, then getting podiums in 21K across India, and then graduating into marathon, and then getting podium in marathon. Now everything is history.
Wow. And how many marathons have you done
Till
since
now, I
then?
have done only 3 marathons. So I choose to say only because in the last 2 years, I have not run a marathon because of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
hiatus which I took from running.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think we should get into that. So you started running. You found this rhythm. Your fitness seems to have been increasing. Uh, and yeah, then what happened?
So
Your
basically
hiatus. What
now
caused that?
I can say that all the year when I took a break from running, before that I had gotten into that mold when I was living, eating, sleeping, walking, talking just like a runner. It had gone
Mm,
into my, you can understand now what I'm trying to say here. It had gone into my head. I would plan my meetings with people based on my run. I would eat and sleep and talk and spend time like running is my profession. I had become like that
yeah.
that time. Why? Because you understand, a girl from a middle class background suddenly like coming
Mm,
into this setup and getting recognized, identified.
yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what happens
Yeah.
to, honestly, Santosh, if you ask, no. In India, women, they are all homemakers, right? They are coming from humble
Mm,
backgrounds. And suddenly when they enter the running foray, it's like, oh my
mm,
God, right? And they feel good. They feel appreciated.
mm,
They feel admired and they feel good. And now that something wants them to keep doing, let me do
mm,
it, right?
mm,
And this is where we actually fall into a trap. If you see, what happens is that then you lose balance and start working in extremes. That is
mm,
what happened
mm,
to me as well. I was living like a runner. Yes, I had a home, I had kids, I was managing, in my mind I was managing, but now when I see, everything was designed with the central thing was my running. And then the podiums and the recognition and everything had gotten into my head. Like I was like, isse acha karna hai, isse acha karna hai, isse acha karna hai. And all of it, somewhere I had forgotten that I am a woman. I have my hormones. I have my menstrual cycle. I have stress from other areas of my life as well. Running is
mm,
not my
mm,
job, it's not my profession, it's my passion.
mm, mm,
So after doing 3 marathons, the last marathon which I did, that was the starting point of my illness. My, you can say, the thing which was causing small holes in my health started showing up on the surface. Like all of this was going on. I will tell you one thing, our bodies are very resilient. It's fighting inside. The time when things come out on the surface is the time when the body has actually given up. And we don't
mm,
realize
mm,
that. We choose to say, अचानक कैसे हो गया? We always
mm.
say this, कि how it happened suddenly. He was all hale and hearty, everything was fine. He was
Yeah. Yeah.
there, this, there. We always create such stories. But you don't know your poor body was trying to make do with whatever you give that body as a resource.
Mm,
You don't know
mm,
what it is trying to keep things together so that you can at least survive. Now, when you keep on beating the body with your habits, it has no other way but to give up, right?
So
So
how
that
did
is
it
what
show up for you? What happened?
it started with, simple itching. So I
Hmm.
know my personal best timing for marathon is 3:44, 3 hour 44 minutes.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's fast.
My first marathon was 3:49, and that also made people amazed, like, oh my God, first marathon in 3:49.
Hmm.
Then the second
Yeah.
was in 3:44. Okay, and I had
Hmm.
trained really well for the third marathon, which I
Hmm.
completed in 3:51. And that
Hmm.
marathon was a struggle of marathons for me. Like, it was huge
Hmm.
struggle
Hmm.
to come to the finish line. I had literally cried in that marathon because my body had given up. All that work was
Hmm.
going on inside. So the whole marathon I was itching my skin. That was the symptom which came out that I have some issue. And I don't know what is
Hmm.
that. What we will think, koi allergy hoga. Generally,
Hmm.
this is what we will do. If you have itching all over your body, the first thing you will do is take an Allegra. Correct?
Hmm.
So I also did that, but it opened a Pandora's box of so many things for me. And I
Hmm.
kept on running, Santosh, not knowing ki this is something which is telling me to stop my running. See, the body was
Hmm.
always going to make small, small, silent, and maybe very small whispers. Listen to me.
Hmm.
I am telling you, please take a back seat. Please relax. Please rest. But we don't decode it that way. We just think, okay, it is
Hmm.
something I have to run. Running will make me feel good. This is how we all are.
So,
If
so
we
how many? So at that when you were training for this marathons and all that, how many miles were you kilometers were you running per week totally?
around 80.
80 kilometers. Okay,
Yeah.
and you
So,
were
but
not much time for recovery, or was it just
Uh,
go go go
no,
go go?
no, no. I want to mention one more thing here, which is very important, because I don't want people to take away something which, take a message which, because of me hiding something, I had parallelly some stressor in my life, along with the kind of physical stress I was putting on my body. So this stress came in 2018 when my family had to go through a huge financial loss. And after that loss, I had a lot of responsibility, because honestly, my husband was, in his pieces, like, how can something like this happen
Hmm.
to us? It
Hmm.
was like,
Hmm.
volt from the blue, you can say. And
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like all runners, I hope you can relate to this. Whatever come in our life, we will
Hmm.
always try to keep our running intact. Right?
Hmm.
We will
Hmm.
always see, okay, सुबह भाग लेंगे, बाद में हम देखेंगे पूरा दिन क्या करना है. We will manage.
Hmm.
Right?
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
in 2018, suddenly my life turned around, where I had to devote extra time to lawyers, to people I had never thought that I would have to brush shoulders with. And there are a lot of people asking a lot of things, and my attention shifted. In my mind, I was trying to address a lot of things which I had never done before in my life, right?
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
parallelly, I was continuing my running. Now, understand, we human beings are ball of energy. We have, when we wake up in the morning, we have a definitive set of energy. How we use them, at the end of the day, you are left with something. Now, earlier, when I was only running, I was only running.
Hmm.
Now I had to spend my energy on different things as well, which I did not understand.
Hmm.
So those things were creating holes, because I was always having deficient of energy. Like, I had multiple stressors in my life.
Hmm.
That
Hmm.
kind of, when you have any external stressor in your life, plus with all that you are doing with your body, like physically exerting it, running is a stress. It's a hormetic stress
Hmm.
on the body, right? We understand that, because
Hmm.
recovery is important. And
Hmm.
you have other stressors also. What that does is, somewhere those, all the cumulative effect of all the stress is going to
Hmm.
tell a lot on your GI, which is the digestive tract that we have, the how you are
Hmm.
digesting the food. So when I got itching, I probably thought that it is some kind of allergy, but what it
Hmm.
was leaky gut syndrome.
Hmm.
Okay, so
Hmm.
what that means?
Just
Yeah,
one quick thing here, Sapna. So um, so you're doing 80 kilometers of running every week. You had other stressors like you mentioned. So were you feeling tired? Were you ignoring those tiredness symptoms, like physically tired, mentally tired? Was that happening
yeah.
too?
I was,
Okay.
that's a very brilliant question, because what happens, no, somewhere when you are not in sync with your body, you tend to let your
Mm,
mind do the talking.
mm.
You are getting my point. I was running with my mind. My body had given up long back. It was
So
lying.
how did it show up? How did it show up? Like body pain? Was it
Uh,
pain? No sleep?
yes.
Tell us what the symptoms were.
Restlessness. I
Mm,
would I
mm,
would need 5 6 cups of caffeine a day to stimulate me, to give me that
mm,
kick, and that also was adding to
mm,
the stressor. Caffeine is not great if you just keep on having it as a stimulant all the time. It's good, it has
mm.
polyphenols and everything, but when you are using it as a crutch to keep you active, to keep you focused and alert, like when I'm speaking to you now, if I have to drink coffee to make me speak to you, that means my internal system is not working. We are all designed to have mild pulses of cortisol releasing, which makes us active, which makes us focused. That is inherent. We don't need to do anything. And when you rely on something external to give you that stimulus, it means your internal system is not working.
Yeah, so let's step back a little bit. So what you're saying is you were feeling tired and you were feeling fatigued. There was, if I understand and hear what you're saying, you had a lack of motivation, or you wake up in the morning and you're not feeling extremely motivated, but still
I
you
would.
would down a whole bunch of caffeine and go out and do things in spite of that. I mean, still do 80 kilometers of running a week
Yes,
in spite of all of that, right?
yes,
And
yes,
still go
Santosh.
out. You had your got it. So just for the audience who are
Yeah, yeah,
listening to
it's
this,
very
so
important.
be clear about what you were dealing with and what you were ignoring, right? And so that's clear now, right?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, so great. So now this happened and you're doing the marathon, you started seeing this show up as a allergy on your skin.
Hmm.
And then, so how did you find out that this was to do with your gut? I mean, did you have to was there a diagnosis at the doctor's office?
No, I went to doctor for my skin issue. They gave me antibiotics, and I thought that if
Hmm.
I take an antibiotic, it's going to resolve it for some time. I took antibiotics, and then I realized that I have dairy and gluten intolerance. I stopped taking dairy and gluten altogether, and then I could see that I was feeling better. But honestly, Santosh, it's like one thing will always lead to another when you have one predominant issue in your body. So it
Hmm. Hmm.
showed up as itching, and then it converted into something else, which made me completely like I can't even run. I had Candida albicans. So that stopped me completely, that I can't take my running anymore, and I had to stop it. And but all these gut dysbiosis and leaky gut syndrome, all these things are like never, like doctor will never give a diagnosis for this, because this is not something which doctors do. This diagnosis
Hmm.
does not happen at the doctor's office. Functional medicine, which we talk about now,
Hmm.
the health coaching practice, the alternative medicine, the lifestyle thing that
Hmm.
we do.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
took a professional course where, like, uh, she's a holistic wellness coach like me. She told
Hmm.
me that you have gut dysbiosis. You have to stop running. There
Hmm.
are a lot of stresses in your life, and you can't
Hmm.
keep on running like that. And you have to stop it. Otherwise, you are like going to risk your life, because ultimately, I had told you, I think, in our pre-chat, that I was not able to digest anything. My
Hmm.
motions had become like urine. I had such bad digestion because of my leaky gut. And honestly, if someone keeps on being oblivious to all this and keep on running, then what can you say? Like, if you keep on
Hmm.
doing like that, I had been like on the extreme, running at the edge of the sword and just risking my life doing all that. And when this female came into my life, the health coach which I am talking about, when she told me that you have to give up running for some time, it is good because you are running
Hmm.
with your mind. I know, I understand your passion, but if you want to
Hmm.
keep on running for life, you have to stop it now. This was
Hmm.
in
Hmm.
2020 October. This was
Hmm.
in 2020 October, when I had to finally say goodbye to running, and I knew that this is going to be for some time. It's like not 1 month or
Hmm.
2 months, because of all the
Hmm.
damage, all the holes that had poked in my body with
Hmm.
all my
Hmm.
doing. Again, what did I did
Hmm.
with my mind? So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was
So I
it.
think I know you're being very humble and you're being very you're taking responsibility for what you did. But at the same time, I think just so that we bring certain empathy into this conversation, right, Sapna? So I think because a lot of women are going to be in the same state, and what you were trying to do was you were trying to do your best to
Thank
get
you so
better,
much.
right? Right, I mean, seriously, I think it's very easy to do a postmortem and say, oh, I did
True,
that
true.
wrong. And that's the struggle, right? That's a struggle. Look, you were dealing with a weight issue. You were dealing with self confidence issues. You didn't necessarily have the most supportive environment for that a woman can hope for, but you were doing your best. I mean, come on, you actually cleaned your house to get fit.
Yeah.
That's, to me, that's an amazing example of doing your best in the given circumstances. And diet, yes, I mean, everybody does that, right? Everybody thinks that cutting back calories is the way to lose weight. You did that, which you can't blame yourself for it. uh, so look, I think it's very important to throw some empathy on yourself
Thank
here,
you.
so that everybody can see that you're doing your best given the information you have. You're not going to get results, but look at the positive is that you discovered something about who
True
you
that.
are, right?
True
You
that.
discovered running, and through that you discovered who you can be. You discovered self-confidence. And look, you found something that you needed correction, and you're doing that. That's all.
True,
that's
true, true.
that's essentially what it is. And you'll find something else tomorrow. You will again correct yourself.
Mhm.
That's a process of getting
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah.
But I think for a minute, I really want to just take a minute so that uh,
Views.
you also acknowledge that you did your best given the circumstances, and you are thriving.
Yeah.
It takes something.
Thank you so much, Santosh. It feels so good to hear this. And right now on my Instagram, I have followers to whom I want always, because I mostly have women there. I always want to tell them, never disregard the woman you were for the woman you are. Because if it was
Mm,
not for that lady, for that woman, you would not be
mm.
here. So give some love and grace to the person you were, because
Yeah.
now you might be more evolved and more smart and all, but that girl
Mm.
only made you that woman that you
Yeah.
are today.
Yeah.
So you made a very
Yeah.
beautiful point, and it's very true. It's always easy to compare before, after, and make yourself more
Mm.
appealing in the after. But if not for the before, you would not be the after also.
Yeah. 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 And the message, I think, I would like to also amplify is, you touched on mental health. And mental health is a big epidemic in the world now, especially in developing and developed societies. And what you shared is very important. I mean, this is such a common theme now with girls, and maybe even guys, boys, dealing with body image issues,
Yes.
right? You dealt with this 20 years ago. Now it's become a regular thing. Everyone seems to be dealing with that. And so what you have overcome, is very important for people
Yes.
to hear, that it's not end of the world. It's not
True.
end. It's, there is a way
Out.
forward.
Yes.
May not be
100%.
perfect, but it's still a way forward,
Yeah.
right?
And yes, and nothing or no one. It's like never an end. There is never absolutely an end. Until you feel that
Yeah.
in your mind, there is always some
Yeah.
solution. Nothing, no problem comes without
Mm.
a solution. The only thing is your willingness to just change your perspective and find out what you can do. That's very, very
Yeah.
important.
Yes,
So when I
absolutely.
got to know
Beautiful.
about my gut dysbiosis, I started, like, the student in me, which I had talked about, came alive.
Mhm.
Like now, because
Mm.
I'm not running, because I can't do too
Mm.
much of workout, now my focus has to shift somewhere, and I can't be an empty vessel. I can't just keep on sitting and not doing anything, because already I was
Mm.
nursing that idea, oh my God, I can't run and all that. So I
Mm.
needed to
Mm.
divert my mind. That is when I started studying about the gut, the hormones, the women's monthly cycle, and everything all
Mm.
put together is what I understand now, which I don't find people knowing much about here in India. It's
Yeah.
like still in its infancy stage, and when you break this idea to people, they actually jeer it, like they don't know, because you don't
Mm.
know. all this, and it sounds like quite it's like funny. What are you saying? I can't do this. If I
Yeah.
am running, I have to run. I have my coach's plan and I need to do that. So that all we can talk
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. No, I think not just India. I don't think it's such a mainstream conversation anywhere, right? I don't. I haven't. At least I haven't seen it. And I was speaking to my wife. She has not heard about it. I was telling her about the infradian rhythm that you talk about. Uh, no, I don't think. I have two daughters. They don't know about it. So it's not mainstream. Nobody's talking about it. So let's maybe we should get into that, right?
Yeah,
Women are not little men. That's a
yeah,
very powerful tagline.
yeah. It
So
hits
tell us
you
about
like.
it. What does it mean? Yeah.
So basically, Santosh, our bodies, like men and women equal, like we have a circadian clock inside our body. In fact,
Mm,
all the
mm,
cells that we have their own clock, because of
mhm.
which we get up at certain time, we feel sleepy at certain time. It's our connection. That's the
Yeah.
suprachiasmatic nucleus that we have in our brain. That
Mm,
it through our eyes, when we see the sunlight, when we are open or exposed to external light, governs our circadian clock, which means
yeah.
when we
Yeah.
sleep, when we are awake, when we are active, when we have cortisol release and all that. That is there in both men and women. That's the 24-hour
Mhm,
hour clock. It's there in men
mhm,
and women. So for men, it is only and only that the rise and the fall of your testosterone and the cortisol. Those things happen
mm,
on a 24-hour basis. But for
mm,
women, we have this as well as our monthly cycle, the 28-day or the
mm,
30-day cycle, which we get every
mm,
month.
mm,
So, in
mm,
that period, like I talked about the circadian rhythm and talked about the cortisol spike and the fall. Like
mhm,
in the morning, we
mm,
have the maximum release of cortisol, which makes us want to get up of the bed and do some workout, or maybe engage in a
mm,
meeting
mm,
or talking to people or learn something. And then we have
mm,
our testosterone spike, which is in the morning. And then
mm,
gradually towards the end of the day, it comes to a fall. This is the way it
mm,
operates, the rise and the fall. But women
mm,
have that apart from the circadian clock, we have infradian rhythm, the
mhm.
rise and
Yeah.
fall of hormones in the 28-day or 30-day cycle. We have
Mm,
estrogen, we have progesterone, we have other hormones which help us menstruate. Now, like the
mm,
cortisol and the testosterone, these hormones also have they register their spike, and then
mm,
they
mm,
consequent fall, and then they
mm.
spike again, and then they fall. Now,
Yeah.
when you have a cortisol spike in the morning, you feel awake. And when you have a cortisol decline, you feel like, okay, I want to retire to bed and I just want to stay
Mm,
cozy and lie down. Likewise, estrogen, progesterone, all these hormones also must be making you feel or not feel like doing something,
mm,
right?
mm,
So where are those going? You are bleeding every month. You are having your cycle. You are not like it's not happening in the air. It is inside your body.
mm,
And it is made of
mm,
bone, flesh, blood, hormones, neurotransmitters. There's so many things which is happening. It's just because all the researches have been done on men, and the results
mm,
out of that have been applied to both men and women. A man can
mm,
get a great weight loss result from a plan, the same plan women follow, they don't get that weight loss or fat loss. Why? Because of the infradian rhythm, because of the hormones that are spiking and falling during the 28-day cycle. So you can't have.
So, so question for you. That is absolutely very important, right? And you said when you had this, in this breakdown in your health, you started researching, and the student in you came back. And so, where did you find this piece of wisdom? This whole thing about infradian rhythms. I
No,
mean, is
now
there
for
a?
though, like if I think now, 2 years or 1.5 year back, I did not know anything about it. It was like I had
Mm,
never
mm,
heard about gut, Santosh. Like what is gut? So
mm,
many people now come because I keep on talking about gut. So many people know me by like my middle name is Gut because I keep on talking about gut. So many people, what is gut? What is gut? So they don't know what is gut. I tell them gut is something which starts from your mouth and it ends where you
mm,
are pooping out. So it's such long,
mhm,
and you have your
mhm,
stomach, you have your small intestine, you have your large intestine. So There are many people who don't know about gut till now. There are many people who don't know
Mm-hmm.
about infradian rhythm. So what
Mm-hmm.
I realized is that okay, I have a gut dysbiosis and I need to lay off
Mm.
from running. That was my starting
Mm.
point. And
Right,
then
right.
I started reading about gut dysbiosis. And then I started
Mm.
like I have a, you can say it's a problem or it's a boon for me. When I something catches my fancy, no, I will just like what do you call them? Nerd, geek. I will geek out on that stuff,
Mm.
and
Mm.
I
Mm.
possibly read all the articles or things or newsletters from all the researches that are there, and those
Mm.
links had some books like you can read
Mm.
through in this book, this book, this book. And I ordered huge set of all those books which I never knew existed, and there is plethora of
Mm.
information available to me. I
Mm.
was not getting up in the morning and running. I would get up and read every day. That is from there. Like
Mm.
you have so many books in the flow, women code, women's hormones. If you start reading, no, those books will
Mm.
always mention about the infradian rhythm. That is
Okay.
from there I came across this concept of
Okay.
how you
Got
should
it. Got it.
plan your workout, your eating, your nutrition, fasting, everything like a woman, not like a man. So now
Mm.
when I see a coach, it's not that the coach is wrong. Don't get me
Mm.
wrong here when I say the coach.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
also does not know. He also does not know
Yeah.
any better. He will not come and
Yeah.
ask you when did you bleed last, when are your periods, because the
Mm.
girl themselves don't know like what is the connection between my running and this and that. The coach will not. He will hand out the same plan based on what is your goal. Okay, you fall in this
Yeah.
category, follow this plan. You fall in this category,
Yeah.
follow this
Yeah.
plan. But that girl, simply they will take the plan. Oh, my coach has told me I am bleeding today, but tomorrow I have to go for a run. What it is doing, what
Mm.
catastrophic effect it has on your hormones, you're not aware. And then when the problem, now when I talked about that, the problem takes a long time to come out. That's the
Mm.
problem, that
Mm.
your body is still handling what you are putting it through. And one day when the problem comes
Mm.
out, it is too late. Like me, I had to lay off for almost 1.5 years.
Mm. Absolutely. No, that is so unfortunate. At the same time, at least you have discovered it and you're now evangelizing it. So let's maybe spend some time. Maybe the top three, advice that you have with regards to infradian rhythms. What can and should women do who are interested in fitness and well-being to align with the infradian rhythm? What are the top three, maybe, advice you have for them?
First thing, uh, always know where you are standing, where you are in terms of your health. Never disregard that. If you are at point A and you want to go to point B, first you have to recognize, identify, honor, and acknowledge that I am at point A. Your point A might not be corresponding to someone else's point A. So
Mhm.
just make sure that you don't follow someone blatantly, blindly. Know your point A. If you today currently standing at A, you have hormonal issues, if your periods are haywire, if you have PMS, if you in the week preceding your periods you have mood swings and you have nausea, you have breast tenderness, and you have all kinds of symptoms, then you should better work on creating a balance, which is not doing intense workout and letting your body rest and recover. Because
Mm.
until you do that, the cortisol which you release by running endlessly is not going to make matters good for you. It is going to make matters worse. So wherever you are standing, first ask yourself, are my periods aligned? Do I feel great during my periods? Do I have pain? Am I bleeding 8, 9, 10 days? Do I have to change pads every 2, 3 hours? Ask yourself these questions and then
Mm.
decide. My running goal is this. I have to run this marathon. I have to qualify for Boston. All that will be possible if you take care of this. But if you disregard this and qualify for Boston, you will sacrifice your health. So that's a very big loss, because ultimately running is also there if your health is there.
Right, right. Fair enough. So the first point, the first thing you're saying is just take a inventory of where you are today. Uh, you know, like a current state analysis kind of a thing, which
Yeah.
we do, right? So whatever you described in terms of your monthly symptoms, just get present to that. So great. So that's one. what would be
Second
the
thing
next
is
thing?
take care of your gut. Now, how do I know whether
Mm,
I have gut issues? I talked about the issues which you have with your periods, like all these things,
mm,
PMS, symptoms, mood swings, all this. Those are period symptoms. Now, second
mm,
thing, if you have these symptoms, somewhere you will have mild or worse gut dysbiosis also. Now,
mm,
how do you know whether you have gut dysbiosis? If you have constipation, if you have bloating, if you have acidity, if your heart burns, if you have constant flatulence, all these are symptoms that there is some kind of repair work needed. You can't see it, but
mm,
the symptoms
mm,
come out, right? If you
mm,
have
mm,
skin issues, if your hair is falling out, if you don't feel great, your energy is not that great, then it means
mm, mm,
what you are eating is not what you are digesting. See, when you are
mm,
eating, your body has to digest, assimilate, absorb. Then only the nutrients come to your bloodstream. Eating is not
mm,
equal to digestion. So,
mm.
eat according to your gut. That would be my second advice.
So what does so fair enough. So one and two is done. So you probably get a health coach. Um, so what are the what do you do? So if let's say you figured out that you have all these bloating issues and you have indigestion issues,
Hmm.
um, what do they have to do? Do they just
No,
only option is to get a coach, or can they do
no.
some kind of thing
I
themselves?
have I have plethora of info on my Instagram page. If someone cannot afford, I tell people you don't need to
Okay.
take my services. Just run through all the posts that I have, and you can create a program on your own. It's your
Mm, mm,
willingness to be that creative. Your creative eye. Okay, this
mm,
Sapna posted this. Let me jot down. If you just go through 50
mm,
of my posts, you will understand
mm,
everything. There
mm,
is free material available everywhere. The basic thing which you have to do when you have gut issue, step back and start eating food that are digestible. That chawal,
mm,
khichdi, dal ka pani,
mm,
boiled vegetables. These are the stuff which your gut will love. Will say thank you for
mm.
giving me this and not something which I am having a hard time to digest. So
Yeah, makes
when
sense.
we do no when we get injured, Santosh, in running, what we do, we start doing some basic stuff so that we can go back to. So
Mm,
same rule applies in life for everything. You go back to basics.
yeah,
जब हम बच्चे छोटे
yeah.
होते हैं इन्फेंट्स व्हाट डू वी गिव देम दाल का पानी चावल का पानी खिचड़ी मांड all these things so that their
Mm,
gut can
mhm,
take it. This is the same thing we
mhm,
have to do. Eat easy,
mhm,
light, digestible food. Take care of your mental health because external stressors play a huge role on how your gut is able to digest the food. Have
yeah.
a morning routine. That's very, very important. Get up in the morning, do some pranayam, walk in the nature, journal your thoughts, have some herbal tea, spend time with yourself. These are the stuff which we teach our clients when they come on board with us on our program.
Mm,
Because
mm,
most of the time when people come to us, they are running on cortisol, they are
mm,
overexcited, and then we have to take them to basics, which means winding down, relaxing,
mm.
repairing, and putting their shoes on the shelf and just taking it easy. All of us are kind of running to go somewhere, but we have to know where to go.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And on the first one, on the coming to the first point you made, where if once for women especially, once they find out about what their current state is in terms of their periods and uh, what do they have to do then? Do they find? I mean, is that something you do as well? You help people align their fitness training aligned with their infradian rhythm. Is that what they should do?
100%. So today only I was on
Hmm.
call with my client and she was telling me, Sapna, I have done intermittent fasting earlier also, but this concept is so new for me. I have never heard that according to your monthly cycle, you're breaking down my monthly cycle into periods where I can fast longer, when I can run longer, when I can do high
Hmm.
intensity workout
Hmm.
because of the
Hmm.
rise and the fall of the hormones which I told. So there are
Hmm.
this is to our physiological advantage. I have seen women cribbing and complaining that men don't get periods and they are free to do whatever they want. But I tell them, your
Hmm.
metabolism is not static, it is dynamic. Within a month's time, you can do
Hmm.
HIIT, you can do yoga, you can do Pilates, you can do barre, you can do walking, you can jump around, you can do strength training, you can run, you can trek, you can do so many things. Why not profit from them? Use them to your
Hmm.
advantage. So nature has designed women's hormones
Yeah.
in a way where she is allowed rest. But we are all type A personality. We don't want to rest.
So let's it's just for the listeners, right? So in your post in Facebook, I've seen, so you talk about progesterone a lot,
Yes,
right? Everybody, and you talk about the importance of progesterone and that phase in a woman's cycle in a month where you recommend you do not do high intensity workout that
yes.
produces cortisol, which has an opposing effect to progesterone, for example. So can you
Wow.
talk that's very important, because I don't think everybody really is aware of that. So if you can
Yeah.
spend a couple of minutes on that, why is progesterone important? What is the role of
So
progesterone? And
So
yeah.
progesterone is a hormone. Like I am 42 now, okay, and as we age, body's natural capacity to produce or secrete progesterone. It's like how good you
Mm,
like with age, everything depreciates, right? So your
mm,
reproductive capability as a woman also deteriorates. The number of eggs your ovaries
mm,
release, like how much you are fertile, it decreases with time. Let's
mm,
accept it with
mm,
grace. There is
mm,
no
mm,
hard,
mm,
like I have seen women feeling bad that they have reached menopause, but this is how it is. You reach menarche, you
mm,
reach menopause. You have to accept things gracefully. So as we age, the progesterone, the hormone which makes you feel good before your periods, like when you see women getting very cranky before their periods, like it's a thing in
mm,
the household that men talk about. Oh my god, my wife is hormonal. She is going to get her
mm.
periods now and she's
Yeah.
shouting and screaming at me. There are so many jokes and memes on women having those kind of moods before their periods, but
Mm,
honestly
mm,
it's not something to joke about. It is something to understand why women go through this. It is
mm,
because progesterone is not sufficient that women feel like this. This
mm,
particular hormone makes you feel good, makes you calm, makes you want to relax, just stay put in couch and
mm,
just feel good. Now what's happening? This hormone would want you to do that, but what we do, I have a deadline, I have commitment, I have to run these many miles, I have to attend to my coach's call, I have to do all that. This is your
yeah.
mind telling, but your body has a different story. Now there is no
Yeah.
congruence between the two. And when
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
happening, this is cortisol and this is progesterone. What is happening? There is a deficit, and that deficit manifests in the form of PMS issues, and which later on can have problems. If you have too much of estrogen with respect to progesterone, you can have breast tenderness issues, which can lead up to breast cancer one day. Like I'm just giving
Mm.
stating a possibility. If you
Yeah.
don't take
Yeah.
care
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
future is there. You will have to live that future. You can't run away. So I always tell this to my client that if a person is smoking, if he starts smoking today, 15 years down the line, he will have issues, right? Not today. And when you give
Mm.
up smoking,
Mm.
maybe 10 years down the line, your body will start feeling better. So don't expect
Mm.
sudden fall of things, and don't expect sudden miracles. Your body has that innate capacity to always keep you in at least surviving mode. राइट सो women who are
Mm.
thinking अभी तो हम कर लेते हैं, अभी तो हम दौड़ लेते हैं, आगे की आगे देखेंगे. You have to live that time, you have to come to that. So it is like reserving things. You have to invest in your health. That investment is telling yourself, a week before my periods, I am going to indulge in self care. It can be massage, it can be walking on grass, it can be journaling, it can be yoga class, it can be stretching, it can be walk in the nature.
Mm.
Why do we feel that by doing this we are doing less? This is our problem. We think
Yeah.
that अगर हमने ये सब किया है तो ये तो कुछ भी काउंट नहीं होता है. Like we, it's nothing.
That's very important, right? So 1 week before the period, what you're saying is, you need to take care of yourself. You need to keep yourself at a calmer energy, meditation, eating foods that are calming you. Stay away from too
Yeah,
much of high intensity. There are certain things
exactly.
that you cannot avoid. If you're a working woman, or if you're a parent, obviously there are certain things you can't avoid. But to the
Mm-hmm.
extent possible, avoid during that phase anything new that
Hmm.
puts a lot of stress on you, because you want that phase where the progesterone is being
Yeah.
produced. You want to be in a calm state, right? So that's a big message that
Yes,
That is very important, and it's very important because I don't think everybody really thinks about it so consciously and makes those
100%.
decisions.
Yeah. So, like when you
Wonderful.
mentioned Santosh, yeah, you mentioned one point that there are certain things which are not in our control. I think I had talked about this with you earlier also. Like, you can't change something external. You can change your internal milieu. Like, you can change what, and that happens when you put into that practice consistently every single day. So my
Mm,
morning begins with, like, after my refreshing myself, I will sit in pranayam. If I have to run, I don't think that let me do pranayam some other day. I will go for run. When I am running, I am
mm,
raising my cortisol. So to make a balance, I should sit in pranayam and do my breath work so that I can go for run. It's not the other way around. It is that I have to do this so that I can run. So it's my morning
mm,
ritual that 25-30 minutes I have to do pranayam every day. If I can't engage in that, I
mm.
might as well not go for my run. So when we keep on doing that internal work, what is happening in the external will not have that impact on you because you have built that shield
Yeah,
around you. There is an armor which is protecting you.
makes a lot of sense. And the other thing that you evangelize is strength training. You're very, you're fit, you're muscular, and that's a huge transformation, right? Another huge turning point in your life has been your embracing of strength training. I see your pictures where you're standing with your muscles, and um, yeah, I mean, absolutely. So tell us about that. And you have some interesting views about it, as to the importance of strength training for women and men, of course.
Yeah.
So give us a sense on that.
So what essentially started as something I remember telling you that Santosh, that I want my skin to be tight. I just wanted just that simple thing from a naive girl, that my skin has wrinkles and I want it to be firm. When I hold it in my hand, I should feel that there
Mm,
is something. That was the starting point of my journey. And now see, today you are asking me this question, that how it was possible. So I had dedicated myself completely to uh, one thing in my mind was clear, that I want strong muscles. You will not believe,
mm,
I in my journey of 7 years, I have changed many gyms. Now I've started working out at home. In the last 2 years, I am working at home, working out at home. Anywhere I had gone, the trainer would come and ask me, "Ma'am, आप steroids लेते हो क्या?" Like, they would ask me because, see, women are by nature's own design, we don't have that testosterone to build those muscles. And this is also
mm,
contradiction. Women think that agar hum weight उठाएंगे तो we will become bulky. It is not by touching the weight you will become
mm.
bulky. By nature's own design, you are not predisposed
Yeah,
to do that because you don't have that hormone which can feed those muscles. You have, but not in that quantity when you will
yeah,
become like a man, right? The only thing that
yeah.
strength training can do is reverse aging. All women, all of us, including
Mm,
myself, we don't want to age, right? We will
mm.
use magic potions, creams and lotions and all kind of treatment to stay younger. But I will tell you,
Yeah.
muscle is the only age reversible organ that we have. The more and more muscles you have, the slower you age. If this basic fact women understand, we will not have any aged women on this planet, I am telling you. So
Yeah.
if we start to invest as small as 10-15 minutes, I am not asking you to lift heavy weights, do body weight workout.
Mm,
Start with the smallest thing that you
mm,
can do. 5 push-ups, 5 squats, 5 lunges, ab workout. This is the starting space. And then when you start
mm.
feeling better, you can gradually scale up things. Then you can have small equipment, some bands, some TRX, something at home. There nowadays there is so much of free literature available everywhere, and we are all on social media, right? So why don't we profit from that? And what happens is that muscle is very expensive to maintain. Once you put on some
Mm.
amount of muscle, you are able to metabolize insulin, glucose well. You will not put on weight
Yeah.
because the body is burning fat even when you are at rest. We think that endless
Mm.
hours of cardio, when you are sweating like a pig, you are losing weight. It is, if you ask me
Mm.
like one advice, if you want to give women, I will say start respecting your infradian rhythm and start strength training. These are the two things that I will tell women,
Mm.
because they think that if you go to a gym, you will see women running around in cardio, like doing cardio on treadmill or doing that cross trainer, or weights ke section mein you will only find men, because
Yeah.
it's not nowadays. Things are changing and it will change, I know for sure, 100%. When women start strength training, they are doing such great service to their bodies. If you ask me how I
Mm.
started, it all began with that wanting to be a certain way, and then honestly
Mm.
I kept on maintaining that discipline, consistency of doing things over and over again, and your body rewards you for that discipline. That discipline is something which comes as, if you ask me what was there in your whole thing where you developed this, it was my discipline to train every day, it was my discipline to
Mm.
show up every day, it was my discipline to eat the food that will feed my body and not my greed,
Mm.
not my hunger. I would eat things which would make me feel my body satiated. So now there is again something like, what you feel is good when you eat that. Maybe your body need more of whole grains. Your body need vegetables. Your body needs good fats. We women think that if we eat fat, we will become fat. Your hormones are made of fat. You need to eat them to feel, to have great hormones.
Mm.
Bad fat is bad. Canola oil,
Yeah.
sunflower oil, vegetable oil, they are not good for your health. You need ghee. We are afraid of eating ghee. We need ghee. हमारे घी खाने से हमारे जॉइंट्स लुब्रिकेट होते हैं, हमारा गट अच्छा रहता है. वी
Mm.
डोंट अंडरस्टैंड दैट, बिकॉज बाय जनरल नॉलेज ओके घी अच्छा नहीं. इट इज when you are eating ghee and you are sitting on being a couch potato, that time ghee is backfiring. If you are active, you need
Yeah.
ghee. We need to eat ghee. So all these I want to uh, bust this myths that we have created by just finger fear mongering around, that this is not good, this is not good, strength training is not good, eating ghee is not good, if I do cardio I will lose weight. These are the things which I want it should reach to each and every household, and women should know that they can take care of their bodies with simple ways. It's not some great
Yeah.
science
Yeah.
behind.
Absolutely. So I think Sapna, as far as strength training is concerned, you are a standing example of why anybody should do weight training. Because if you look at your Instagram feed and Facebook feed, you look fab. You're looking probably as young as you wanted to be when back in your 20s, right? And so that
Exactly.
makes complete sense, right?
Yeah,
And
thank you
also I
so much.
think like you said, like you said, it's not one is about the looks, second is about how you feel stronger. When you feel stronger, you feel self confident, it has an emotional connection, and on top of it, like you said, it increases rested metabolism.
Yes,
It's a win win all the way, right? Why wouldn't
100%.
you? And I think
100%.
the other message that you said, which I really want to again amplify, is because especially for women, like you said, who have concerns that they may bulk up like big like Arnold Schwarzenegger. You're not going to be like Arnold Schwarzenegger
No
because
way.
you're not going to produce that much
Testosterone.
testosterone, so you don't have to worry about it, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, absolutely. No, great message there. And it's only because most people don't think about it, Sapna, that some of these myths exist. Fantastic. So, what next in your journey? So you've become a coach. You're contributing beautifully to everybody, and your social media channels are getting more popular. What next for you?
Honestly, if you ask me, I don't create huge plans for the future. I like living my life a day at a time. But yes, if you ask me about the larger picture, I want more and more
Hmm.
women coming forward and taking care of their life and their lifestyle and their bodies and their
Hmm.
health as if it is their priority. And they should not relegate, okay, I have to feed my family first, and whatever is left, I will eat.
Hmm.
Honestly, I am someone who eats the earliest at home, and I don't mind being someone like that, because I am coming from a home space where my mother used to eat last, because everyone sabka khana ho jayega, then
Hmm.
only she will eat. But I don't believe,
Yeah.
now things are changing. There is a shift happening. I want women to not look at herself with that guilt if she indulges in self care. She is the
Mm.
backbone of the family, right? And for that, she needs to feed herself. She needs to invest time with
Mm.
herself. She needs to have her women group or that tribe where she can talk, discuss, and more women coming together and helping one another. It's not like we are in some kind of competition. We are collaborating to
Mm.
bring ourselves together. And I am not even wanting to sound like a feminist. I believe in peaceful I believe in peaceful coexistence of both male and female,
Yeah.
because we both complement each other. It's not that we are fighting or vying
Yeah.
for attention. It's like we should live together, and we should identify this as women, that we need to invest in ourselves, and it is nothing to be
Mm.
guilty about. This is something which I want, and
Yeah.
I want, like, next 10 years, if I go, and women should know about infradian rhythm, they should respect their hormones, they
Mm.
should know one thing, that it is okay to rest, it is okay to
Mm.
say no, it is okay to create healthy boundaries, because when you start
Mm.
believing that as a legacy to your daughters, you will give that only.
Mm.
Like
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell my
Yeah.
daughter,
To your daughters and also to your sons, because I think
100%.
right. I mean, as and I also think that, as a mother, as a woman, what you teach your son is what your son will do for other women,
100%.
right? And
Yes,
so
yes. True
so that's a very
that,
important
Santosh.
aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful. So hey, we covered quite a bit of ground, Sapna, and you're very authentic. You're very honest. You just say it as it is. So
Thank you
so
so
thank
much.
you for sharing your journey. I'm sure it will open up some thought pores, some action for people who are listening. We're coming to the last kind of end of our conversation, and I have a fun Q&A round with my
Oh my
guests. So
God.
are you ready
God
for
forbid.
that?
Yes, I am 100%. I'll try to be keep it as fast as possible so that I don't end up thinking too much.
So my first question, the favorite question for all my guests is, what's your favorite junk food? What do you like to indulge in?
Okay, being the health freak that I am, my junk food are also healthy, honestly. Really, if I would like to binge eat on, it's jhalmudi. Okay, so I am from Kolkata, and
Jhalmuri.
jhalmudi is
Yeah.
like a snack, evening snack. So when I don't feel like having dinner someday evening only, I'll make huge jhalmudi, and I just love it. I have been born and brought up in
Yeah.
that space where we eat jhalmudi like anything. So mine is jhalmudi.
Okay. I haven't eaten jalmudi. Time to
Come to Bangalore, I'll feed
find
you.
somebody who can make it. Okay. All right. I'll take that as an offer.
Yep.
Okay. Your most challenging endurance event till date.
That was the last marathon that I ran, because I started seeing my body giving signs that I am not well. And honestly, I had prepared
Mm.
well, but by the day the race day came, that day I felt that my original target I would not be able to achieve because of the
Mhm.
itching thing that I had, and I had taken antibiotics and all that. So the first half of the race was okay. I remember at the 35th kilometer, sorry, my calf felt like huge boulders, and honestly, I stood at one place and looked up at the sky. Now, this I have covered 35 kilometers. Now, the second next 7 kilometers, it is looking like a marathon in itself. I cried and
Mm.
cried standing there. How will I cover? And honestly, I'm not even kidding you, Santosh. I limped and did the race in 3 hours 51 minutes. I was limping in the
Wow.
last 7 kilometers, and I still remember that.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
You if you listen to music, any particular song that inspires you in
Yeah.
when you're working out?
Yeah, so I earlier when I began running in the like early time, I used to listen to a lot of songs when running, because I wanted to distract my mind towards, like, okay, I'm not, how much is left and how much is left. So that time I used to hear a lot of songs which would inspire me to keep on going. So there is a song from the movie Iqbal, Aashaएं खिले दिल की, उम्मीदें हंसे कल की. So
Mm.
that song has something which tells me that you have to keep going despite n number of challenges that you have. And honestly, I
Mm.
listen to that song even till date. That song has that kind of feel, because Now I remember that was the time I started listening to this song, so it feels very nostalgic when I go back to listening to that song again.
So, do you listen to music also when you're lifting weights?
No, I listen to podcast on Alexa.
Oh, okay. All right. That's good. So, we are producing a podcast. Somebody will be listening to us also. That's good.
100%, yes.
So, your favorite time for workout, sunrise or sunset?
Sunrise all the way because of that cortisol spike in the morning.
Ah, okay, okay. What time? What time do you? What's your favorite time?
I would ideally want, see, runs I run pretty early. So any workout that I do, I would ideally want it to get over max by 10. So it can be depending on the
Hmm.
workout that I'm doing. If I'm running, I will go out for run max by 7 o'clock because now it's getting warmer here. So the sun is up. So we try and finish my run
Yeah.
maximum by 8:30. But when I'm working out at home, maybe I will finish some work and then get into workout because that allows that flexibility because I'm
Hmm.
working out from home. So any workout that I do, I would ideally want it to get over by 9:30, 10 o'clock.
All right. The last question I have is the favorite question of mine is if we made a movie of your life story, which is a wonderful life story, what kind of category or genre would you put it in, and who would you hire to play your character?
Oh wow, that's such a like I think my everyone's life, Santosh, for that matter, it's like a movie in itself. And you might say a movie is a thriller or adventure or anything, but we all have drama, a lot of drama. So I think
Uh,
my life would be a
so
drama
you put
only
in
because
drama.
of yeah. And for the heroine part, I think I love Kangna Ranaut. She would play my part
Yeah,
best.
yeah, that would be wonderful. That would be wonderful. Yeah, she's a great actress. I don't
100%.
necessarily agree with what she says,
leave
but she's a
leave aside
wonderful
that
actress.
part which she does on social media, but apart
Yeah,
from that, she's a very good actress. She gives life and blood to the role that she plays.
yeah. Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Sapna, we learned a few more things about you in the process. You did well in the fun Q&A round. And here's a hamper for you, virtual hamper.
Thank you so much.
All right. Hey, I think that was a wonderful conversation. We're kind of coming to a close here.
Close.
Any final parting, message to our audience before we wrap up?
First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you, Santosh, for in this particular platform, whatever I have spoken at length about women's health and hormones and everything, being in sync with your body. It's like people can learn if they really are willing to invest, and it might feel like this is normal. This is not normal. Anything that you are facing is
Hmm.
common. It is not normal. So try to
Hmm.
find out what is common
Hmm.
and what is normal. What is common might not be normal. So you have to create a
Hmm.
gap where you understand what is common and what is normal. So thank you for giving me this opportunity, because my purpose, my cause is to spread an awareness amongst women about your health
Yep.
and what is in your vicinity, what you can do. It's not always like the best supplement, the best podcast, or the best book that can do. Ultimately, the motivation,
Hmm.
that is, it is intrinsic. External things can motivate you for a certain period of time. You have to have that insight to harness that feeling. Okay, I want to get up, show up, and do something about life. So the parting message, which I think applies to everyone across gender, is that life will give you challenges, and the people who come on the other side are usually the one who know their why. When they figure out
Hmm.
why I'm doing something, the how will figure out itself. So whenever you are faced with a challenge, just try to find out why you want to overcome this. And once you try to understand why, the how, the god will take you through. You don't need to worry about that, because that why
Yeah.
will motivate you to keep going. So, whatever challenge there is, keep showing up at life. Everything will ultimately compound to bring you the life that you had always dreamt to.
Yeah. Beautiful, beautiful message. Sapna, thanks a lot for spending your evening with us. I'll let you go and enjoy the rest of the day and stay in touch and wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Santosh. Namaste.